Stadler, where are you? Get back in your cubicle. I'm not paying you to uncubicle yourself.
Hey friends, so welcome to the first episode of Wayne on the Road. That would make me Wayne. We're dealing with a smart one. Firstly, I want to thank my two friends out of Vancouver, Brad Pedwell and Alec Von Hensky, for the awesome job on the intro music. I sent them the raw footage of what I'd shot in the desert when I ran over my old laptop, which was dead, by the way. And yes, I cleaned everything up after I was finished. But I sent them the raw footage and they totally, I just got the music tonight and I'm so excited that I'm recording this now so I can get the video out. They knocked it out of the park and I'm so stoked. Brad sent me 5 different versions of it, little nuances, differences, etc. And I'm just oh, I don't know which one. So yeah, check out the link in the description for the band stuff. Also, my good friend iPancakes, not his real name. We had some fun one night. He played my boss. I basically just set up the camera in my room. He sat on my bed and yelled at me for half an hour. My real boss at my current job is not like that, just for the record. We were having fun, creating some drama. And yeah, so thanks to him for stepping up, and that's his acting debut as far as I know. And yeah, without those guys my intro would be blah. So moving on. What the hell am I doing? I'm leaving a full-time job in about a month to live out of a 1971 vintage trailer that I'm fixing up to work on my photography full-time. I'm a photographer and I'm going nuts because I'm not doing it other than the odd weekend, and I need to get outside. I need to get outside and I need to see something new every day, and I need to explore and I need to meet people. And for the record, I don't have any other responsibilities. I don't have kids. I'm not married. I got none of that going on right now. I'm just basically focused on getting out there and working on my photography and experimenting with other things like video and time-lapse stuff and all this other stuff. I just want to go out and have fun. This whole pursuit is because I want to have fun living my life. I'm not afraid of hard work. There's been a lot of hard work, even just getting things ready to this point, trust me. I'll touch on all that later. But for now, the channel just basically went, oh, okay, well, when I hit the road, I'll start shooting some video and, do a channel. But then I have friends and family now that have been asking, oh, well, what's going on with the trailer? How are the Renos coming? And what are you fixing? And what does it look like? And that kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, well, apparently I need to start shooting now. And, releasing a few videos before I leave, with highlighting the preparations that I'm doing. So why not? Here we are. That said, here's the first installment of a segment that I'm going to call now and in the future, Vintage Trailer Happiness. Anybody who has a vintage trailer knows exactly what I'm talking about. So without further ado, here's that. So here we are, Northeast Calgary. It's about +5 Celsius today, so it's not exactly balmy. Now with the wind, I'm hoping you can hear me. But yeah, so essentially, I bought this trailer last fall. I did some work. I resealed the roof with the help of a friend, Mr. iPancakes. We discerned where the leaks were coming from because the front interior was pretty rotted out. So I've replaced that. All these things I should have actually been videoing, but it was fall and I was racing how many days I had left of nice weather. So essentially I did a lot of work and didn't record anything. So we'll touch on that later. But for now, I'm going to give you kind of the first peek of where we're at now with the trailer. I bought it for $1,400, and yeah, it's going to be basically worth way more than that when I'm done, simply for the things that I'm adding to it, but all things that I'll be touching on later. Right now, today's project is working on the front section that I tore out for the rot, because now that we're dry inside, I've reframed what needed to be reframed. I've repaneled, so to speak. Yeah, now I'm just kind of working on getting trim in. I've got a spot for my iMac to go, because it's going to be traveling with me for editing photos. Basically, we're getting into the cosmetic part now, and then the cleanup part, and yeah. But for now, here's what we're looking at. So there she is. Painted the outside last fall. A couple quick coats of the aluminum based Tremclad paint, and then sprayed some orange and black to pretty it up a little bit. Also colors in my logo, so it all works. So yeah, wind's picking up, we'll step inside. For now, I'm concentrating on the inside here, and I'll give you a little look around. Keep in mind, it's a mess because it's only 13 feet long, and there's a lot of work stuff in here, a lot of extra wood and wood pieces, and yeah, it's crazy mess in here. And also, a thought to keep in mind is I'm about as handy as a chimp with a chainsaw. So yeah, don't be judging on my work craftsmanship quite yet. I got to trim it up and, you know, kind of fix little fixes here and there and make it look nicer. But yeah, this is more or less going to be my home for the next year minimum. So I'm just doing what I got to do. All right, I'm going to flip the camera around a little bit here, and I'll give you a tour of what I've built into it so far, and then we'll go from there. Let's start with a little commentary on the Dinette. So this, underneath all this, is the Dinette. It's got the funky orange, and to be honest, that was a little bit of a, yeah, here's the actual cushion color there. But yeah, it was kind of kismet, I think, because I found this trailer, and by the time I got to look at it, which was 3 hours after he posted it, he had like 15 other guys wanting to come and look at it for the price that he was offering, which was a little bit more than I got it for. But when I started looking at it, I'm like, it's got orange, and then it's got green vinyl in spots. Well, if you've seen my logo that I designed long before I looked at this trailer, well, we match. So the first day it rained, I went out into it to see, because you'll see in some pictures in these corners, in the pictures of the old before I started doing anything, these corners were kind of stained. So of course I went out in the rain and checked it, and of course it was leaking. So I figured, okay, well, it's got to be this window, because the leaks were kind of coming in down along the bottom left there, and then kind of in, well, that was the window decision, and then there was some more coming in kind of just above this, the left corner of this side window here. But anyways, I'm like, okay, I got to make a decision what I'm going to do. I started tearing it apart. Now you'll notice by the old pictures, and of course I don't have video, but you'll notice by the old pictures that this used to be a bunk area with shelves above it. Well, I've since reframed all this inside, repaneled it, and I've taken the top bunk that had two pieces hinged together, And I've taken the widest piece and put it back in. So this essentially doesn't jet out as far on the wall as it used to. And then down here is where the old bunk used to sit all the way across. Now underneath the toolkit here, inside that cabinet, is actually the second half of my fresh water tank. So it's covered up. Now I've built these two cabinets, this one and that one, because they're going to support a workstation. I need to run my iMac. This is a whole other story for a whole other video, to be honest, but let's just say I'm running on iMac. I'll get to that later. Now, because I was building this compartment over top of the water tank, I decided, okay, what do I do? What can I do over here? Because a spare tire was just kind of like lying around. So we built a little compartment for the spare tire. Now initially I was just going to put a door on the front, but I had a piece of paneling that actually fit perfectly. Didn't even have to cut it. So I'm like, okay, let's put the countertop on, which I'll show you in a minute. But so I temporarily just set the countertop on and went, how hard would it be to get that tire out if I needed to? Not so bad if it had a door or whatever. So essentially I built this door. I was going to put a hinge door on it, but it's like, why hinge it if it's something you're not going to use, like, hopefully, knock on wood, very often. So I just found a piece of wood that will literally sit inside the trim, because I got trim for this corner and trim for the floor. So it will sit inside the trim. I'll get a couple pieces of Velcro right in here to hold it in place, like so. And when I need it, I can just pull it out a little bit, lift it out of the trim, bada boom, access to my spare tire. Now my extra leveling jacks will actually fit in there too. Whether I'm going to use it, put those in there because I need those more often, or not, I don't know yet. But there's a little bit extra storage for something that possibly is, like emergency kit or, jack, like, tire changing jack, etc. Here's a little mention for if you're thinking about solar and you're doing Renos on your trailer, think about where you want to put the wires that go from the solar panels on the roof to the batteries on the underneath. Now my batteries are right down there, access through a door on the outside. They're kind of basically right through there. Now, I want to put panels on the roof. Well, my best bet right now is to try and, I'm going to unscrew this, take that piece of trim off, and try and run them through the wall there. And I think I might go up into that corner, and then the hole that will actually go into the roof will be up in through there, as opposed to up and through here. So that will be a semi-hidden. Wish me luck, because with this shelf bolted in, it might be a tight fit to try and do any kind of wrangling of wiring in there. But they aren't that thick. So we'll see. So that's a tour of the inside, as it is now. Trust me, it's going to look way better later. Yeah, so I'm doing stuff as cheap as possible. And to be honest, this is a lot of work to do in the next 2 months on weekends. But it's going to happen. I'm leaving sometime in April. I was gunning for the 1st, but it's looking more like the April 15th mark. If you don't mind staring at my ugly mug once in a while, follow along these videos. And yeah, we got a lot to learn together. So we'll be starting here. I don't know how much we'll get out of a time lapse, but I'll probably set one up in here and maybe do a few little videos as I go and see how things go, especially with the solar wiring, getting that put in, and then yeah, some trim. Trim's going to be fun because I really don't know what I'm doing, but it's kind of like the last thing to put up to cover up all the mess you've made previously. So yeah, we'll see. Here's a quick look at the countertop I'm putting in. So basically there's the indent I cut out with a jigsaw, full length, and then a hole for the cords, power cords, etc. This is MDF, and they say that it's really porous, especially on the edges before you go to paint. So before you prime, they say fill it with wood filler. So I've basically done that there. I'm just getting ready to sand that down and put on a coat of primer. So basically, yeah, I'm just going to sand the wood filler off the edges, prime it. If I can get 2 coats of primer on before the end of the day, I will do that, and then give it a nice sand and a wipe down again before I paint it, which will be spectacularly orange. So I've got the MDF countertop one coated with the sealant primer. That's pretty much what it looks like. Waiting for it to dry. It's definitely going to get sanded pretty good again, especially now because it's so windy out. I'm getting nice little pieces of tree and stuff landing on it. The joys of not having a garage workspace. There's the front shelf. It's also a piece of MDF that's been sanded down. So there's the top of that. So I got the top and the edges down. Hopefully it will dry enough that I can flip it over and do the other side. At least 1 coat today. And that's it. Yeah. So as the MDF is hopefully drying outside, the first bit of primer on there, I'm back inside where it's a little warmer, and I think I'm going to get back to this, trying to figure out where it is. Yeah, right there. That corner, trying to figure out how I can run that solder cable up without making too much more of a mess than I've already made. I've been working on getting this wiring for the solar panels, which I haven't picked up yet. So I'm just, basically I kind of had the forethought to do, let's put the wiring in behind the panel, the new paneling that I put on, so that it's hidden now. Because then I don't have to worry about it later, trying to hide it, etc., etc. So I've drilled a few holes, and I've got the wiring down from the roof, the cabinet over the sink. It's going to be where it's going through to the roof, so that's hidden. And then I've got a few holes drilled, and the wiring comes down, so I'll show you where that is. So the wiring comes down through behind my new panel, like wall panel in the interior. So it comes down behind there. I still got to make it look pretty, but I drilled a hole, so now it comes out here. I'm gonna clamp it up, pin it down there, and it comes down. All this hose and stuff will probably be stored somewhere else, but I had to put it back in. So anyways, wiring comes down, and then obviously here's my batteries, and for now it's just sticking out there, just between the two. Somewhere along the line there's going to be a charge controller before it goes into the batteries, so I'm pretty sure I got plenty of room here. And the charge controller might even fit nicely there on this panel here. Or if it needs to be separated from the batteries, it can go up top here. So, quick end of the day update. It's about 4:30, which means it'll start getting dark here soon. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what I got done today. Not as much as I wanted, but quite a bit, actually, I think. I don't know. Solar cable going into the wall, down the wall, done. Started doing the trim. You can see a little bit there. Obviously those holes and other small blemishes will be filled before I paint. Same with up there, along the top, along the door here's done, and down here these cabinets are done. I can't see. And right down to the floor, which is also, I didn't mention before, my new floor, and it's dirty as hell right now. So yeah, corner pieces added on, etc., etc. That, and then if we look outside here, I've got these painted, primed I mean. There's the countertop there, and then there's the back, well, the very, very front shelf that goes right underneath the window. That's also MDF and primed now. And I'm going to pack up most of the stuff here, and then these crates are going to get a quick sand with a palm sander, and I'm going to take them inside and stain them gray tonight in the comfort of my little room. So yeah, the trailer is a complete mess, but we're slowly getting stuff done, and the more I get done, the less stuff there's going to be here cluttering this crap around, less tools I'll need, and eventually it will be home. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that mess. Here's the disclaimer. I started shooting the video with my iPhone 5 that has a bad battery and my iPad mini. The first 2 or 3 videos are going to be a little rough, those segments. After that, I did acquire a GoPro, so they should get a little better. Also, I'm learning Premiere Pro for editing right now, on the fly, YouTube tutorials, etc., etc. I'm flying by the seat of my pants, basically. Thanks for checking this out. Once I hit the road, there'll be lots more going on. It will get, I'm hoping, much more interesting than just trailer renos. I understand if that's not your thing. Be patient with me. Yeah, it will get much better. We'll have fun. All right. With that, I say goodnight.
It's like working with a monkey.